Good morning. Welcome back to episode 8 of the Bout Some Football Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle. This weekend, to start off my analyst career, went 0 for 2 on games, and I somehow managed to get every single prediction wrong, including the weather for the Kansas City Buffalo game. I mean, it takes skill to do that. Alright, so I need to get some credit. All my gambling was wrong. I had both money lines, both spreads. Just hedge all my bets. Horrible weekend for my analysis, but here I'm just gonna, for this episode 8, I'm going to get a recap of the NFC Championship between Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Green Bay Packers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers would come out on top, 31-26. Let's look at some stats real quick. Tom Brady would have 280 passing yards, 3 pass touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Kind of yin and yang kind of day for Tom Brady. He had some really good throws and some really bad ones when he threw a few interceptions. That overthrow Mike Evans that went off Mike Evans' hands was kind of bad, especially that how big of a target Mike Evans is. Not too hard to hit him in the chest. This is the 4th time in his postseason career that Tom Brady had 3 interceptions in a game. And in those games now, he is 3-1. So impressive play for the team around Tom Brady when he isn't at his best. The most surprising part for me was with Tom Brady's interceptions, they all came on 3 straight drives. I believe it was start of the third quarter. After they scored the touchdown, after the Aaron Jones fumble, he would then go 3 straight drives of throwing interceptions. This is the first time in Tom Brady's postseason career that he ever had even back-to-back drives ended interceptions, let alone 3 in a row. For the running back crew, Lenny Fournette had a pretty good day. He would lead the Buccaneers pack with 55 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown, that 20-yarder. I mean, broke 2 tackles, quick stiff arm, spun around Kevin King, and just got right in the end zone. Great run. Ronald Jones was silent all day. 16 rushing yards on 10 attempts. That's 1.6 yards per carry. And along he had 0 receptions in the game. They were able to shut him out pretty easily, but that's why you have Leonard Fournette out there. Chris Godwin, great game, 110 reception yards on 5 receptions, 22-yard average. Wouldn't put up a touchdown. Mike Evans would, though. Now, on the flip side, for Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers would have a fairly good game. 346 passing yards, 3 pass touchdowns, and an interception that was could have been called a holding. It was definitely questionable. Sean Murphy Bunting had a grip on Alan Lazard's shoulder, and he was pulling like that. Refs were letting him play it out all day until, I'll get to it later, but until about the last minute. Now, my original prediction for Aaron Rodgers was if he had 250 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and a 100 QBR, they would win. And I threw that prediction in the trash because not only did Aaron Rodgers have 250 passing yards, he had 346. He had 3 pass touchdowns and a QBR of 101.4. And they lost. So, another perfect prediction for my analyst career. Star wide receiver for the Packers on Sunday was not Devontae Adams, but rather Marquise Valdes-Scantling, or MVS, known in Green Bay. He would have 115 receptions on 4 catches and a touchdown. That touchdown coming from a 52-yard pass from Aaron Rodgers in the first quarter to tie it up 7s. Now, Aaron Jones would completely flop this game, fumbling twice and losing one of them to start the second half. I mean, he got rocked on it. He would end up leaving the game with an injury after that hit, and so would the linebacker who hit Aaron Jones. I'm blanking on the name, but it might have been cornerback, but both left the game and wouldn't return. But it's weird because the hits that Aaron Jones fumbled on were pretty much identical. The cornerback or the defender, it might have been a cornerback, it might have been a linebacker, would come in, and now Aaron Jones had the ball in his left arm, and as he's running, he would slightly tilt his shoulder, and the defender would come in and just ram his head right into the ball and swing around. And so it looked like he didn't even hit Aaron Jones, but it's obviously pretty painful because his head was going straight into his arm and straight into his chest, and the ball popped out. First one, Robert Tonyan covered. He was no worries. I think he lost 3 yards, but still picked up the first down. Second one, they'd end up going down by a significant margin because Tampa Bay would score. So, I want to check out these defensive stats. I think that was the key for both of these teams playing in this game. And for Green Bay, Jair Alexander would have 2 interceptions, while Adrian Amos would have the other one. A fun fact: Maurice Jones-Drew ended up predicting the Jair Alexander 2 interceptions like 3 days before the game. I don't know how you do that, but he's not right all the time, not right often. But pretty good prediction by former Jaguars running back. But it was the Buccaneers defense that really came to play. Sean Murphy-Bunting would get the interception. Again, how I told you, had a good grip on Alan Lazard's jersey. Still got in front of him. Good play on the ball. Got it. Gave Tampa Bay really good field position. And this is his third straight game with the interception in the postseason. He now joins Ed Reed as the only other player to ever record an interception in their first 3 postseason games of their career. Sean Murphy-Bunting, 3 for 3 right now. Ed Reed would finish his postseason career at tied for first with 4 other players with 9 career postseason interceptions. Sean Murphy-Bunting's on his way, and if Tampa Bay can keep this streak of making the postseason, I mean, they're 1 year now. Tom Brady's got at least 1 more year on him in the contract. If they can keep this streak of making the postseason, playing multiple games, I think Sean Murphy-Bunting might have a good chance at least joining that 9 interception by the end of his career. So also this Buccaneers pass rush was just on another level. They put up 5 sacks, the most against Aaron Rodgers his entire year. The Packers offensive line has been great this year, but with the loss of David Bacardi a few weeks ago, Aaron Rodgers was just under pressure all game. He was getting he was getting rushed out of the pocket. He was getting hit after throws. He just never had enough time to really let plays develop. There are a few plays that I want to check out. The first is going to be that Scotty Miller touchdown at the end of the first half. For starters, great release off the line by Scotty Miller, and also a great pass by Tom Brady. And I want to point out, all right, the one prediction I got right this weekend was Scotty Miller was going to score a touchdown. And look at this, he did. All right, so 1 for like 40 for me for the weekend. But what was Mike Patine, defense coordinator for the Green Bay Packers, thinking? You play 8 seconds left on the 39-yard line. I get it. You don't want to give up like 8 yards because you probably think Mike Patine's probably thinking they're gonna try to get a field goal. If you give up 8 yards, I'm sure Ryan Sugup's gonna make the field goal. But they still need to get out of bounds. They have no timeouts left with 8 seconds left. Instead, you ran man coverage, 1 deep safety. No, you play prevent 4. This is obvious. You don't want to give up a touchdown. Even if you give up a field goal, that wouldn't even be too bad. You come out second half with the ball, go down, score. You do everything you need to do to not allow a touchdown here. And Kevin King, I don't know how you get burnt by Scotty Miller, the 5th-string wide receiver on the Buccaneers. I know, I really think Scotty's pretty good. And a classic Tom Brady wide receiver, short, white. But Kevin King, there's no safety behind you to help. He's playing right in the middle of the field. Scotty Miller's running up left side. I think, first of all, you shouldn't press. You should be playing at least 6 yards back. I don't know. Just really bad defense play in there. The play looked eerily familiar to Greg Williams, the former Jets defense coordinator's blitz call on the last play of the game, Hail Mary, and the Jets lost to the Raiders when he sent a 8-man blitz and played man coverage on Henry Ruggs on the left side. Obviously, Ruggs is going to burn whatever practice squad cornerback the Jets had at the time. Now, if you heard what I said a few seconds ago, I did specify a former Jets defensive coordinator, as he was fired hours after the game, as Mike Patine should too. Mike Patine showed that as a coordinator for a Super Bowl contending team, he is not a quality enough coordinator. You can't call a play like that in a conference championship and just give up free points. Maybe if he's week 17 for the Jets, all right, you can do that. But you'll still lose your job, as he should. And now, on to the 3rd and 4th and goal at the end of the game for the Packers. These are the next set of plays I want to look at. 3rd down, Rodgers has space to scramble from the 8-yard line, bring the game within 2 points with a chance to tie on a 2-point conversion. Rodgers instead elects to throw it into double coverage on Devontae Adams that ends up being incomplete, same as 1st and 2nd down, 3 straight incompletions. Now, I'm not going to fault Rodgers here. He's throwing to Devontae Adams. That's one of the best wide receiver quarterback combos in the NFL. So he'll get a pass on that play. Also, 37 years old now, 36 years old. Aaron Rodgers scrambling might not be his best suit. There was Sean Murphy-Bunting was out on the edge covering Alan Lazard on a cross route or on a slant route. So maybe he just didn't want to get hit. All right, throw it towards Devontae Adams. That's the right play. Now, You think, all right, you got fourth down, 4th and 8. You just need a touchdown here and tie. There's 2 minutes and 9 seconds left. No, Matt LaFleur kicks field goal, brings it within 5 with 2 minutes and 9 seconds left. Was it the correct play call when looking at odds of victory and like percentages on whether you win with no points there, you win with a field goal there, or if you win with a touchdown there? Yeah, you probably had a better chance to do that than go down and not score a touchdown there if you just kick a field goal and get the ball back. But here and there, you need to throw the stats out the window and just go for it. It's the playoffs. You need to risk it. Just like opposing coach Bruce Arians says, it's his go-to saying, no risk it, no biscuit. That's actually his motto for the team. Now, Tampa Bay would end up getting a few first downs after the drive or after receiving the ball in the kickoff, and they'd end up winning the game, and now they're heading to the Super Bowl. But the one play I wanted to check out was the late penalty play with Kevin King, the pass interference. All game, the referees were letting the corners and the wide receivers play it out and be like really handsy. A lot of contact between them, and they weren't calling anything. I think there wasn't a penalty till like the third quarter on either side of the ball. But they called this pass interference with like a minute and 6 seconds left, giving Tampa Bay the first down and the win. I just don't see how referees can allow teams to play it out and have these cornerbacks, wide receivers be so like contactful during the entire game for 59 minutes, and then within the last minute, you're super strict on the rules and you call everything. You need to stick with one plan. If you're going to call every pass interference all game, or at least the majority of them that you see, you go with that. But if you're not going to call them, don't call this one last second. That was another mistake by Kevin King. He would end up giving up 2 touchdowns. He'd get chucked there by he'd get juked out by Leonard Fournette for the rushing touchdown and get the pass interference here. Really rough game for Kevin King, but hoping to see him bounce back. He's a free agent this year, so we'll see what happens. Tampa will play Kansas City on February 7th. This is the first time that a team will be have like home field advantage, as the Super Bowl is in Tampa Bay this year. And good luck, Tampa Bay. Tom looking for a 7th ring. That'll be a NFL record. I mean, he already has the record for most rings by a player, but he is now looking for the record for most rings by a player or organization ever, beating 6 out of New England and Pittsburgh. He also holds the NFL record with his 10th Super Bowl in a row. That makes him, or his 10th Super Bowl, not in a row. That would be incredible. But he now has made Super Bowl 10 of his 21 NFL seasons. That's a 48% chance to reach the biggest, most competitive sports championship. Really impressive. The greatest of all time. Green Bay, going into the offseason, I just want to see what you're playing with Aaron Rodgers. You draft Jordan Love. He was a healthy scratch like half the games this year. If he's going to be your backup quarterback, then I understand. But I think he's like 4th string right now. If you think that, obviously, I still think Aaron Rodgers has a lot in the tank. I was the MVP this year, and he wants to sign an extension, but he wants a lot of money. And now if you think that Jordan Love spent enough time backed up and can come out there and compete, you have a really good team out there right now. A Super Bowl ready team with a Super Bowl ready coaching staff. And I would go with Aaron Rodgers for at least 2 more years. That's what I'd say. I think after that, maybe go with Jordan Love. But maybe it's time to move on if the front office doesn't believe that Aaron Rodgers deserves that much, which he does, and the front office knows he does, and everybody in that organization, every player, every coach, every staff member, every stadium member, like, they all know he deserves whatever amount of money he asked for. So, re-sign Aaron Rodgers is playing well. He's still on contract till opting. He can opt out after next season, but just make sure you keep him there for as long as he needs to be. That's the end of this episode. I'll be coming back here in a few hours with my recap of the Kansas City Chiefs for Buffalo Bills. Again, didn't get it right in my predictions, but I'll be going over some of the cool things from that game. Thank you. Have a good one.